Have you guys ever had problems tracking your sent out or received invoices? I just wanted to showcase, guys, this little automation that I've built on our Meg.com platform that allows you to track all of the received or sent invoices and keep abreast of, you know, any outgoings and incomings of any invoices that you are currently sending. I think especially those of us who are running a small business or who are in business of making sure that we are getting paid and making sure that we pay our clients and our partners on time. It's very important. So I've just set it up this little automation that allows very easily to track a couple of things. So and then I'm going to build a scenario with you guys so you can see how it's done from scratch. But let me just first of all walk you through it, guys. So what we're doing is essentially we're setting up a drive, essentially a folder in Google Drive where we're going to upload all of our PDF invoices. So what we're doing is essentially we're watching files in a specific folder. So whenever there is a file uploaded into the folder, we're downloading that file, then we uploading essentially the same file to a pdf.co is essentially a little app that we use, and then we use essentially AI invoice parser that's going to extract the information from the invoice, and essentially we're going to push all of that information in our Airtable to track it. Essentially, you can do it a number of ways. So I'm currently using Airtable. You can use Google Sheets or Excel or any type of other table or database where you can track that for whether it's visual purposes or just be an aid to see what's happening. But I'm doing it here. So basically the way we're going to do it, so for example, this is how I set it up. So you guys can build your own Airtable. So let you zoom it up a bit. So basically what it is, we got an invoice, we got a company name, the amount, invoice issued, invoice deadline, and then the date has been created, and obviously we get the services that we have done. So what we're going to do in this instance, essentially, once we upload the invoice, it's just going to kick off this automation, which is going to essentially extract all of the essentially details from this invoice and publish it into Airtable. So without further ado, I guess let's just jump into scenario. Let's build it from scratch so you can guys replicate it in your own environments and build it your own. As always, I'm going to put a link in Meg.com. If you haven't used Meg before, you can sign up and explore. It's very easy to use no-code automation platform that allows you to build these amazing workflows like this one. So let's create a new scenario. So what we're going to do is we're going to first of all start with, as I mentioned before, Google Drive. So Google Drive, we're going to watch files in a folder. So again, this is obviously we are currently looking to establish an API connection. So again, if you're doing it first time, all you'll need to do is you'll need to sign into your Google to establish connection. And then we're going to watch files by created time, drive, and then all we need to do is just select a folder. So I've earlier created a folder called invoices. So we have an invoices. And then basically what you can do is as well is if you think you're going to be uploading a number of files of how many files you want to process at a time, you can change the limit into whatever you want. But we're going to do one at a time. And then basically when you want to start, so we're going to start from now on. And that's the first module created. What we're going to do then is going to create another module where we're going to download a file. So this time what we're going to do is we're gonna download a file based on, so what we can do is we can say enter manually and file ID. So what we're gonna do is this time is we're gonna pick a file ID from the previous one, and that's how we're gonna extract the file. So the first two is done. Secondly, there is an app called that we're going to use, and the next one is pdf.co. So again, you can just sign it up to pdf.co. You can use it for you get a 1 month trial for free. And I think if I remember correctly, let me just have a look. So as you can see, I've got a trial. I've used it a number of times, but essentially you can use 10,000 free credits, which is plenty enough to do, you know, your invoices, unless you're running into, you know, hundreds. Then obviously you can upgrade to a basic plan, which is $10 a month. So I don't think that's too bad. So what we're going to do is here, we're going to connect the PDF. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, from here, we're going to select upload a file. So what we're going to do is, in first instance, we're going to upload a file, and then we're just going to map. So we're going to map the file that we want to upload, and essentially we just select the file from the Google Drive. So that's the file we're going to upload. And then next, we're going to use the same module, but this time we're going to use a module using AI that we're going to parse an invoice. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to use, I think it was from URL, if I'm correct. Yes, so we're going to use a file from URL. And basically once we upload the file, we can get a URL from here, which we can plug it into this. And then all we need to do is, yeah, JSON output. I think nothing else changes from here. So that's pretty much it. So what we've done is we essentially watching the files in the folder, we're downloading the file, we're uploading the file, and then using AI parser to extract the information. And then the last but not least, what we're going to do is essentially we're going to connect an Airtable where we're going to essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to create, we're going to create a record. So we just need to establish a connection to the correct base. So what we're going to do is we just need to make sure we establish a connection. So we're going to save. So this is important. That's how you essentially connect your, so what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to add a base. And then we're going to select a base. So my base is invoices, and we're granting access. We're going to select invoices. We're going to select the invoice table, and it's going to pre-populate all of the essentially fields in here. So I don't think, well, we can try, let's try and see if we can extract, because usually what I normally do is you need to run this automation at least once to be able to do that. But let me guys do this and see if we can just create, so what I'm going to do is, just for the purposes of this exercise, I'm going to delete this line. So we're going to delete invoice number 2, and then what I'm going to do is, let me just guys go into my Google Drive. So we have 2 invoices in here. So I've just deleted number 2. So what we're going to do in this automation, essentially we can select where we want this automation to start. So what I'm going to do is choose where to start. We're going to choose manually, and we're going to run an automation for invoice number 2, and just let's just ignore the warnings for now. Actually what we're probably going to need to do is, just for this, we're going to unlink and then run it once. So whenever you get a bubble number 1, that means we extracted some information. So this is a very important part, especially when you want to map the data from one module to another. It's important to run it through and get the bubbles of information, because once we connect the Airtable, we can map the specific fields we want to extract. So let's have a look. output, we got a body, yeah, we got extracted all the information, we got customer details, so okay, so now I'm going to connect the modules again, and what we're going to do is just essentially map all of the fields that we need to map. So we're going to collect the base. We obviously need to establish different, I think it's different connection where we need to select in order to find the correct. There we go, invoices. Table, we're going to collect invoice. And then we're going to map all of this. So let's expand all of the information. So we can see, for example, invoice number, we're selecting this. Company name, okay, let's find the company name. There we go, name. Okay, let's find the amount. So line items, there we go, total price. Invoice issue date. So invoice date is that, and then invoice deadline is going to be in here, due date. And then the last but not least, we're going to get a description. Sorry, no, not in this line. We're going to get a description in our services column. There we go. So now we mapped all of it. So as you can still see, we still don't have a second invoice. So we're going to do again, choose where to start. We're going to choose manually, and then we're going to run again from the second invoice. Click OK, run once. We're just going to let it run again, making sure that everything's working as it is supposed to be working. AI invoice parser obviously takes a little bit more, but then as we can see, all of the table has been updated. So if we come here, as you can guys see, we have the amount, we have the invoice number, we have the company name, we have issue date, we have deadline day, we have the date when it was created, and our services. So essentially all of it worked perfectly. Now, the way you set up in your environment, there are a couple of ways about it. You can, as you can see, make.com allows it to create a schedule. So you can do it a number of ways, as I've just done. So you can upload a invoice and then manually just click here to run to pre-populate the information, or you can create a schedule and say it runs every morning at 8 a.m. So then what you would need to do is, obviously, if you think you're going to run and upload potentially more than one invoice per day, you can change this limit into whatever you want to be, say 10, 15, and then you can create a schedule that says, okay, every day at specific time, let's say, as I said to you guys, at 8 a.m., I'm going to run this. And then you just click OK, and obviously this will create an automation scenario that every morning at 8 o'clock, it will take and parse all of the invoices in your selected Google Drive folder, and then essentially push all of that information into your Airtable, Excel, wherever you want to store it or wherever you want to track it. As I mentioned to you guys before, all you need to do is just create a table with those specific fields in how and where you want to track it, and then just run that automation. So hopefully, guys, you find it useful. It's an easy way to essentially track all of the invoices that are either being sent or being received. So for example, this is the invoices that, you know, I can potentially be sending out. But at the same time, what you can do is to make your life easier. You can add another column in there, and potentially you can say whether invoices are being sent out or being received. So this allows you another distinction to understand where the invoices are coming from and where are they being sent out and received from. So hopefully, guys, this helps. Please, you know, share, comment, like, subscribe, and make sure, you know, you support the channel in order for me to generate more and more useful content.